What's poppin', everybody? It's your boy, Snowy Kurama. Welcome to the finals! The finals games, that is correct, of Games of the Week, like in Rock Battle League, with your host, Snowy Kurama. Unfortunately, folks, Liganine did not see the type of support on the semis video that he was hoping for. So he said, you're on your own. Blame him, not me. Anyway, we are here for the finals. If you guys are enjoying this content, please hit that like, hit that subscribe if you want to. And we'll get into the midnight game. We have Martin V. Tran versus Table Guy, aka Expired Mozzarella. Tough game, tough game, tough game. What do we think we're leading with on each side? Probably nope, Colossal. We're leading Colossal with Martin. It's just always the bet. Leading Colossal. Against Table Guys, probably Meowscarada. Right? Unless you want to lead Quag. That's my guess. Let's get into it. We see a Thundy versus Colossal. So I got half of it. Let's go ahead and see our Terra types. Expired Mozzarella. We've got Fairy for the Thunderous. That looks to be it. And Martin has Terra Poison on Colossal. And that's it. We see a Terra right away into the Poison, into the Volt Switch, into the Quagsire, probably to go ahead and try to hit it with some ground moves while it's both rock and fire. But Poison is also, weak to ground. But we see a Will-O-Wisp coming off, getting off that nice residual damage for the Quagsire. Ogerpon comes in to take any sort of ground move, doing nothing with that Earthquake. We see a U-turn here. Do we see Spikes or Stealth Rock? We see a Toxic not landing on the Corviknight because of that typing. Ogerpon comes back in. Do we see another Toxic? We do. Nice read for Table Guy's side. We see a Protect coming off here. We see a U-turn now. Trying to, I guess, do some residual. Slowking comes on in. We see a U-turn coming off on that, going after the Colossal. Not sure what the Slowking wants to do here. We see an Earthquake coming off first, doing a little bit of chip here. Psyshock hitting the Colossal for the save him out, pretty much. Darkrai comes in. Slack off. It was a good idea to try to take the Psyshock, is what you went for, right? Yeah. It was a good idea to go out into the Darkrai for the Psyshock for sure. Screamtail comes on in. We see a Diancie switch. Psychic Noise doing nothing to the Diancie, but there's no healing for the Diancie here. With the Stealth Rock, we see the Slowking coming on in. Wishes up. Hits him up with the Psychic Noise, doing nothing but blocking heals. Psyshock also doing absolutely nothing. Encore into the Psyshock. Pretty good for Martin because this Slowking would not do anything to Screamtail, but I'm thinking that Darkrai is going to come on in here to take nothing from a Psyshock as well. Cinderace is here. We see a Colossal switch. Do we see a Pyro Ball? We see a Double Edge from the Cinderace. Double Edge takes out the Colossal. We see Darkrai coming on in here. Do we see that Swords Dance Darkrai? We see a Focus Blast doing quite a bit of a chunk to that Diancie. Screamtail comes on in to take whatever. The Moon Blast, of course. We see a Quagsire coming on in, probably trying to Toxic the Screamtail. And Ogerpon comes in here to see a Meowscarada switch. Very nice switch on Table Guy's part. We'll probably see a knockoff of sorts here. Although I don't think knockoff really cares for Ogerpon. But anyway, it resists both stabs that could go for against the Meowscarada. There's also Play Rough and that nasty U-turn as well. We'll just have to see what happens here. We see a U-turn coming off first from the Meowscarada, almost killing the Ogerpon into the Slowking. We see another U-turn right back into it, going at the Garchomp, threatening with those powerful Earthquakes. Meowscarada comes in to take the Slowking spot. We see an Earthquake, of course. Corviknight comes on in. Do we see a Flower Trick here? Do we see a Triple Axle? We see a U-turn here. Probably a Rocky Helmet Corv. Maybe not. Thundy comes on in. We see the Screamtail switch. Do we see a probably a Volt switch? It's just been lots of pivoting this match, folks. It is the finals. You don't want to mess up here. This is Gunk Shot. We see Screamtail protecting into it. Is that the first protect? It is first protect, so very nice prep on Martin's end. See Corviknight coming in here probably to try to take the Gunk Shot. Maybe we see a Pyro Ball. We see a Super Fang. Very nice support move off on the Cinderace. The Corviknight has been confirmed to be the Rocky Helmet. And then Pyro Ball ends up killing the Corv. Garchomp comes on in here to take the Corv's place. We see Super Fang, and then of course the Rough Skin. Scale Shot. Is this thing loaded dice? It just might be. Garchomp gets that speed raise and that defense loss here. We see Thunders coming on in, terastallizing into a Fairy type, and not taking too much from the Earthquake, even though it's still like half. But Terra Blast Fairy kills the Garchomp. Ogerpon comes on in. We see a switch out into the Quagsire to take the U-turn. We see a Horn Leech instead. Very, very nice on Martin's end, because that Horn Leech could have also taken out the Thundurus at this point, most likely. I don't know the calc off the top of my head, but obviously this thing, the Quagsire, unless it was Rindo, which it was always left over since we've seen that recovery, Horn Leech is very nice into it, and Ogerpon's back up to over half. Now under half. Meowscarada comes in, probably pressing a U-turn here. Into the Screamtail, which will do quite a chunk. Yep, does about half of what it had before. Thundurus is here, probably pressing the electric move. We see a Protect off on Martin's side as we see a Volt Switch from the Thundurus. Then another Volt Switch here. Not doing the Screamtail in just yet. Slowking comes on in, probably trying to press a Sludge Wave or something. We see a Sludge Bomb instead, and then the Wish brings it all the way back to 69. Darkrai comes on in to take the Poison move. Do we see a Poison? We see a Poison here. Very unfortunate. Focus Blast hits into the Slowking. Not entirely sure what was going on there. Maybe he predicted a Meowscarada switch, considering that Darkrai definitely threatened this thing with a Dark Pulse. Maybe this thing is EV'd to take a Dark Pulse. It's not Vest. It could have been Dark Resist Berry for all we know. We see a Chilly Reception from the Slowking into the Meowscarada, which can now just press a U-turn freely. Presses Sucker Punch instead. Probably a good idea just in case this thing was Scarf. It is also just naturally faster, so there's that as well. Darkrai goes down to the Sucker Punch. Screamtail comes on in. It's just 2v4 now. We see a Knockoff getting rid of Screamtail's leftovers. We see a Wish coming off. This thing does not have anything that can hit this Dark Attack Meowscarada. Nothing to really fear here. We see a Protect, trying to get all that HP back. We see a U-turn right into it, not doing anything. Slowking comes back in to press those Poison moves, and right now nothing on Martin's team resists Poison. It's looking really bad for him right now. Psychic Noise does nothing. We see a Sludge Bomb hitting into the Screamtail. Pretty good critical hit. And then we see another Wish. We see a Sludge Bomb coming back in. It's looking like just how Martin can just stall out these Sludge Bombs that Table Guy's putting out. Not very well for the Screamtail since it's just gone down, and then Ogerpon comes in, going to click the Ivy Cudgel to do as much damage as he can, while the Slowking takes him out. There you have it, folks. Our Season 5 champion for Midnight is Table Guy. Very good game to the both of you. It looked like neither one of you is really trying to let the other guy get the upper hand. Very unfortunate that Corv just kind of did... I mean, it looks like it did nothing, but it did switch on a couple of Sludge Bombs here. Yeah, overall, great game on Midnight's side. Here we are, folks, for Midday. Just going down the line, we have Sound of Snow versus Holy Macaroni. The Zamazenta team with, I believe, was this guy the one with the 2 Shed Tailors? I don't quite remember. I'm not going to find out either. Versus the big fat 6 here. What are we looking at for leads? Snow is probably going to lead. Maybe the Slowking into this team. Slowking's good outside of maybe Hydreigon and Orlando lead. Maybe Tinglu is good. Terapagos is also an okay lead here. I'm going to go ahead and say Terapagos. And then for Holy Macaroni, he's probably going to lead the Landorus. Maybe even leading the Regieleki to get up those screens. I'll say Landorus and Tinglu. Nope, Landorus and Terapagos. We see Regieleki should have went with my gut, and Slowking should have went with my gut again. I had him, but then I changed my mind. That's just what happens sometimes. The Terra on Holy Macaroni's team, we see a Ghost Hydreigon, and then Sound of Snow has a Fairy type Diancie. Nope, a Flying type Diancie, my bad. And that looks to be it. So here we go. We see the screens coming up with Holy Macaroni. Very good idea into Snow's team. Those are a very, very threatening 6. Into a chilly reception off of the Slowking. Getting into the Tinglu to press that Earthquake. See Earthworm coming in to absorb the Earthquake. We see Spikes instead. Very, very good read on Snow's part. Shed Tailing. Getting off that Citrus Berry into the Primarina. Very, very threatening Primarina. It's probably his signature Assault Vest Primarina. We see more Spikes coming off on the Tinglu. A Surf getting Tinglu almost down to, or over half. Then we see a Whirlwind getting the Hydreigon in here. We see a Nasty Plot behind the light screen. Pretty good. Whirlwinding out into the Earthworm. Making that Shed Tail very much obsolete. Spikes from the Earthworm. We see another Whirlwind. We're just phasing them out. We're just phasing out the whole team. We see a Taunt to end that Whirlwind. Cannot use Spikes. We see a Swords Dance coming off on from the Landorus into a Ruination from the Tinglu. It's good to note here that the Landorus has an odd number of HP. That's why he has the 51%. Light screen is ended, but we see an Earthquake taking out the Tinglu. Here we are. Then Manaphy coming on in, threatening with an Ice Beam, threatening with a Scald, threatening with a Tail Glow. We see a Scald coming off, killing the Landorus. And then Primarina comes on in, maybe to do an Energy Ball, I think is what it has. I don't think it has Energy Ball, actually. But Manaphy does, and it did not kill the Primarina. Oh, it does get Energy Ball. We see Rindo Berry, Manaphy. So it can take it out with an Energy Ball, looking very good for Snow. We see the Regieleki coming in. It can threaten with a Thunder Cage or a Thunderbolt, whatever electric move Holy Macaroni decided to put on this guy. While Manaphy is going to die here, unless there's a switch. Nothing really wants to take an electric move on the team, aside from maybe Goldengo and Slowking. And of course, Terapagos can come in and take any hit because of its ability Terra Shift. Or Terra Shell is what it will be, but I don't think Snow really wants to make that happen against the Regieleki. We see a switch to the Goldengo as a Volt Switch hits it, going right onto the Zamazenta, the big dog Zamazenta. We see a Howl, raising that attack, a Thunder Wave, very good bring by Snow. We see a Reflect, because this guy gets screens too. Fun fact, I found that out last season when I was using it. A Crunch hits the Goldengo for pretty decent HP. We see a Recover here from the Goldengo, another Howl, putting this guy up to +2. We see a Hex, very nice prep. Another Hex will almost kill the Zamazenta, a nice Paralysis. The Hax is here for Snow, ladies and gentlemen, taking down the Zamazenta. We see a Hydreigon switch in here. We see a sub into a Thunder Wave, unfortunately. We see a Manaphy coming, unfortunately for Snow, I should say. A Nasty Plot from the Hydreigon. So this thing is behind a sub with +2 special attack. That's pretty scary. Scald is not able to take out the the sub. We see a Dark Pulse into the Manaphy, killing it. Terapagos comes on in. Big Terapagos with a Terra Shift. We see a Dark Pulse. Do we see the flinch? That is a resisted move because of the Terra Shell, and it's still doing 38%. Rapid Spin breaks the sub, gets rid of the spikes, and gives Snow a nice +1 in speed. Then a Mirror Herb gives a +1 in speed to the Hydreigon. That is insane. Terra Astalizes into the Ghost type. No Terra, what's it called? Star Storm? No Terra Star Storm from the Terapagos, but it's okay because we see a Dark Pulse coming off instead, getting rid of that sub. Very nice call there. A Dark Pulse takes out the Terapagos. This is a +2 special attack, +1 speed Hydreigon against the whole team here. Diancie comes in. It's a flying Terra. We see the Surf not doing a ton of Diancie. Diamond Storm does not raise the special defense. We see a Dark Pulse almost taking it out. A lucky flinch from the Hydreigon. Dark Pulse takes out the Diancie, because of course it does. It's at 13. Slowking comes in. We see another Dark Pulse taking out the Slowking in one hit. And then that's just it. That's just it. Golden Go goes down to another Dark Pulse. That was a very close match. If the, what was it? The Diancie? If the Diancie did not get flinched, that would have been a lot closer. But we have Holy Macaroni as your Season 5 Midday champion. Very good game to both of these guys. I like Screen's Golden Go. Or Screen, rather. We all knew that this thing was going to be Screens. It was very nice Mirror Herb bring on the Hydreigon, because we know that Snow likes to press the... This thing could have been Nasty Plot. This thing likes to boost all of its stats as well. So this is very nice prep. Very great game in Midday. And last, but most certainly not least, in Dusk, we have Boaz22 versus Egotistical Elekid. We have this Hoopa that's been tearing up the entire division after the Porygon Z was knocked out, versus more fat. I mean, we have a Slowking, we have a Terapagos. Petrun's annoying. We have Regenerator Tornadoes here. So this will be very, very interesting. The leads. I'm going to go with Iron Treads for Boaz. And Egotistical Elekid is probably going to lead the Slowking. That's what I'm going with. We see a Tinglu instead against the Terapagos. So I was way off. I don't even think I noticed there was a Tinglu. This Tinglu got kill leader, or was on the board for kill leader, I think, a ton, so it's crazy that I couldn't remember that. Anyway, on Boaz's team, we see a Terra Fighting Hoopa, and that looks to be all, against Egotistical Elekid's Terra Water Bellybolt. Stealth Rock starting up on both sides. We see a Rapid Spin getting rid of the rocks on Egotistical Elekid's side. A Whirlwind, I'm just going to call him Elekid. It's Rapid Fire. We see a Whirlwind into the Scizor. Out goes the Alomomola, probably Rocky Helmet. We see a Trailblaze, very nice bring. Cutting that Alomomola in half. No Rocky Helmet. Very interesting. Terapagos comes back out. We see a Protect. Just getting back that residual. See Iron Treads coming in, probably trying to get rid of the rocks. A Rain Dance from Terapagos. That is interesting. Torn comes in, going to knock, and then, speaking of knock, Iron Treads knocks off the Choice Specs. So we were about to see Specs Hurricane in the rain, just going crazy. Maybe even Specs Weather Ball, depending on what comes in. That is kind of nuts. See a Weather Ball coming on in, still doing a ton of damage to the Iron Treads. Rapid Spin getting rid of those rocks. The Treads will go first, as we're seeing right now. Volt Switch almost killing the Torn into the Clefable. U-turning on out into the Terapagos here. We see Iron Treads coming back in. Do we see rocks? We do see rocks, so it's probably going to be spinning them away. We see a Petrunt up in here to take the spin. Do as the Petrunt says, sub to my YouTube. We are at 116 subs. Let's get that number up. See a balloon. Knocking off the balloon. Very nice. Going out of the Torn, getting that HP back up. Into the Earthquake. Very nice read by Elekid here. Petrunt is back into the game. Clefable is out for the... what was in? The Treads. Ting Lu comes on in to resist anything that the Petrunt wants to go for. We see a Recover. Very nice. Terastal. Terapagos comes in. We see Stealth Rock. Then Hoopa is here. We see a Rain Dance. Into the Terra Fighting Hoopa. We see a Toxic, of course. And then Terra Blast doing a ton to the already chipped a little bit Terapagos. This thing was not boots, as we can see. And, there was some chip from the rock, so... Hoopa is going... Petrunt is here. Petrunt switch in to the Terra Blast. Very nice on Elekid's part. Iron Treads comes on in. Probably going to die here to a Shadow Ball or a Hex. So these rocks are here to stay, because I don't think anything else on Boaz's team gets Defog or Spin. Blaziken might, but considering the distribution in Gen 9 is Dog Water, it probably does not. Ting Lu is here. We see Malignant Chain. Do we see the Poison? We see the Toxic and the Confusion off of the Poison Puppeteer. Whirlwind into the Belly Bolt, who could just Terra Water out of a ground weakness. Clefable is here. We see that Terra Water. Weather Ball, boosting the Weather Ball. What kind of makeshift rain team did Elekid bring today? That's crazy. We see a Moonlight from UA, but the rain is up, meaning that it's not going to recover that much HP. This Weather Ball, if that was a low roll, might just take out this thing. See a Thunder into the Paralysis. This is crazy, folks. A Weather Ball will take out the Clefable. I honestly think that unless the calc is against me with that Weather Ball, I think that into the Moonlight, the Belly Bolt just needed to press a Weather Ball again. Blaziken is here as the rain goes away. We see a Swords Dance. We see another Rain Dance here. So this thing is going to be threatened by a Weather Ball. We see a Petrunt switch. Do we see like a close combat or something? Yes, we do. Very nice switch here. We see it's +2. Now it's +4. Do we see a... Yep, we were going to see a Malignant Chain. We see a Toxic Confuse. This is not looking very good for Boaz today. Knockoff takes out the Petrunt. Very, very lucky there. This thing's getting whittled down. Belly Bolt is in. Belly Bolt can press Weather Ball. Knockoff almost takes out the Belly Bolt into the Weather Ball, taking this Blaziken down. We have one more turn. Yep, one more turn of Weather Ball. And we see a Thunder here. We see a Protect to stall out the turn. Very smart on Elekid's part, just pressing that Slack off to get that HP back. And Protected definitely was the play here to stall out those rain turns. I definitely agree with all of this, what's happening right now. Ting Lu comes in. Do we see a Thunder? Do we see a Weather Ball? We see a Slack off, trying to get back as much HP as possible, because I guess, the Belly Bolt could always just set the rain back up. Alamamola comes in. Do we see a Thunder? We see a Weather Ball. That actually does quite a bit. That's actually doing quite a bit to that Alamamola, so a Thunder from there would have taken that thing out for sure. We see a Flip Turn into the Hoopa, probably. We probably see a Rain Dance coming off of the Belly Bolt. Yep. So we can see a Weather Ball. We see a nasty plot here from the Hoopa. Weather Balls doesn't take out the Hoopa, but the next... Okay, we see a Terapagos sack here so that the Poison will take out the Hoopa. Very smart there. See, Torn coming in. It is 4v2 in Elekid's favor. Hurricane does a ton to the Alamamola and gets the Confusion off the rip and gets hit by Confusion. Very unlucky for Boaz. Into the Hurricane, taking that thing out. And then it is Ting Lu versus the World. The rain is done. Grass Knot takes out the Ting Lu And there you have it. Your Season 5 Dusk champion for the LBL is Egotistical Elekid. What a crazy game. These Dusk games, they have been spitting so far. This makeshift rain team, if I was doing like team of the video, this would be it. This is not expected, honestly. Very good game here in Dusk. And now for the Pickems for the finals. Midnight and Midday. It was a coin flip for all of these, by the way, since it's just one or the other. But Midnight and Midday ended up picking incorrectly for who was going to win that division. I guess it's more accurate to say that the community lost there. Martin had 9 votes into Table Guys 3, so Martin was very favored to win the crown back, whereas Sound of Snow had 1 more vote ahead of Holy Macaroni. And then we see in Dusk that Egotistical Elekid had 7 votes to Boaz's 4, so it was pretty solid as who was going to win Dusk. And in the final running total for the Pickems of the entire season, we have Midnight coming in at 50%. That means the entire community guessed, out of all of the games that we've had in Midnight, an even 50-50. Not too bad, considering there's a lot of games. In Midday, it's just a little bit better with 52. I'm not going to round that up to 53 because it's just 52.8. So just a little bit better in Midday. And then in Dusk, the community voted a 63.89. We're going to round that up to 64, folks. 64% of all of the Dusk games were guessed correctly on who was going to win or lose. And on average, that is 55.32%. I'm just going to go ahead and show what I have on my little spreadsheet tracker here for you guys to just pause the video if you want to see all the statistics and whatnot. Give you a little bit more time for that. Thank you all for coming out to the finals for the Lycanroc Battle League Games of the Week. I hope you guys had just as much fun watching this as I had recording this. I do not know exactly what is next for the channel, but when I do know, you'll find out, I don't know, 3 weeks later? How long does it take to make a YouTube video? Man. What is it called? The off season, we are still in the works on that. I might have jumped the gun by saying very soon in the Discord for those of you that are in the league. My bad. But hopefully by the time this video is up, we'll be farther into the process of getting that finalized and out to all of you to sign up. If you guys are interested in joining the Lycanroc Battle League, I have a link into the description for the Discord server. Go ahead and pop in there, say hello, say hi, and get ready for the off season, folks. It's going to be one hell of an off season. Like this video if you have not already. Subscribe to the channel only if you want to. Like I said, and like the Petrunt said, we are 116 strong as of this recording, and I thank every one of you for coming out here and supporting the channel. Hit that bell so you know what it is I am uploading, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. One last thing before I get out of here. Join me every Tuesday night around 7 CST on Superbench 45's channel as we do a live stream of Pokemon Black and White 2 Soul Link Nuzlocke. At the time of this recording, we have done 2 live streams, and both of them have been an absolute blast. Come on in, give us nickname suggestions for each pair that we catch. Witness us get up to the top, lose all our mons. You never know what's going to happen. Alright, now I'm out of here.